Hello, Atlanta Athletic Club. Matt Check, PGA teaching pro here at the club. Today we're going to go over a philosophy I call wedge wipers, better known as the windshield wiper, to maintain good loft on your wedge and not add loft and come up short or even possibly leaving it out right. Great wedge players hit the ball kind of low with their wedges. It not only gives you a lower launch, gives you a little more distance, a little more carry, but hitting it down like that, it's going to give you more spin. So that low launch, high spin is how you get that ball to kind of take one hit and then stop or something like that. Instead of hitting them really high, and the harder you swing, the more loft you add, it just goes higher and not farther. So what we're teaching you today, you should be able to have a more compact, aggressive approach with more spin. What is wedge wipers? So the way I want you to think about this is I've set up to hit a wedge, and I thought of a windshield right here. I want to make sure that the center of mass of my golf club, where I can hold it and it stays steady, balanced, the center of mass of that golf club wipes that windshield. Okay? Most people know that you're supposed to kind of hold it back, right? But the club face just stays wide open. Or better, even worse, the hands stop and the club starts to break the windshield. So if we can keep the hands moving as we're rotating the forearms over, I kind of think of it like holding a medicine ball. And if you're throwing the medicine ball at the target, having a little right to left spin on that medicine ball. So if we go ahead and hit some, we want to really feel that the forearms are turning over as the club stays right of our hands and above our hands. That's going to give you this good look like the pros, where their right arm is across their chest and the club is vertical or even a little bit to the right, instead of somebody that's flipping. If you look at it from this angle, adding loft, the club face is squaring, but as it's squaring, we're adding loft. And then we're just going to scoop up under it and it's not going to go very far. But we can still bring the club face back to square, but we have that lead arm in front as we're rolling over and looking like this. So let's go ahead and hit a couple wedge wipers. You can kind of see that low draw effect. Now, another way of thinking about this is if you took your golf club and you gripped it all the way down here by the club head and kind of imagine a ball, just below your belt buckle here. So if you did this incorrectly, the golf shaft would pop you on the left hip. That would mean you're squaring the club face with the hands, adding loft. But if we can bring that club face right back to looking at the golf ball or looking at the target and keep this outside our left hip, that means we got the body turned, we got the forearms to turn over correctly. And then from here, here's the kicker, we want to point the golf grip a little out in front of us on the finish. A lot of people will do this drill and they'll just finish with this golf grip stay behind them. But we want to get that thing turning over and not hitting our left hip. That's the best feel that you can have for the windshield wipers. So you can do wipers on anything. You give your static loft at the start here. So if I wanted to open the club face, then grip it, I still had the same swing. I'm still taking the center of mass right up that windshield as I'm wiping it. And then you can go ahead and hit the loft you put on the club. What's so bad about adding loft was you never know how much loft you're adding. It's always a timing game. It's always a guessing game. You're always going through these different windows. So we want to make sure that we preset to the window we want to go through. We may put the ball back in the stance for a lower window, front of the stance for a higher window. Same thing with the club face. But if I went front of the stance with an open face and I still did my wiper, so the club head goes around my hands over and around as I'm turning it over. I can still hit a little flop shot. Okay, now if I wanted to hit it low, back of the stance, maybe toe the face in a little bit. Now, the only thing I need to know here is I don't need to make as big of a motion in the back of my stance and the face a little bit squared to toed in because I'm de-lofting it, so it's going to go farther. So I put in the back of the stance, a little toed in. I still have the same feeling that butt of that club behind me. And I may not need to have it go all the way up there for this one, but I'm still going to get the club slightly above my hands to make sure I'm wiping that windshield. And I can hit these little low shots to a back pin. So next time you go to the range, let's work on those wedge windshield wipers and get really good with your wedges and not go out there just hitting it up to the moon and hoping for the best. Staying down through the shot and picking the window you want prior to hitting. Thank you for watching.